Billy always had his head in the clouds, or rather among the stars. His mum worked at NASA, a place that felt more like a playground to him. He loved exploring the towering rockets and peeking into the labs. One Saturday he tagged along with his mum, his pockets brimming with curiosity and candy. He promised to stay put, but the allure of the unknown was too strong for a boy with stars in his eyes. As his mum got caught up in a meeting, Billy, unable to resist the silent call of adventure, tiptoed toward the restricted area. A sign with bold red letters screamed "Authorized personnel only," but to Billy it was an open invitation to a world beyond his wildest dreams. He slipped past the security checkpoint, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. He found himself before a colossal spaceship, its metallic skin gleaming under the hangar lights. The sheer size of it took his breath away. It was more magnificent than he had ever imagined. He longed to touch it, to feel the cold metal beneath his fingertips. He edged closer, drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Before he knew it, he was climbing a ladder, his small frame swallowed by the shadow of the spaceship. He felt a thrill course through him, a sense of adventure that only a forbidden exploration could bring. He reached the hatch and peeked inside. The cockpit beckoned with its array of buttons and blinking lights, a symphony of technology waiting to be explored. The interior of the spaceship was even more impressive up close. Billy ran his small hand along the smooth surface of a console, his eyes widening at the intricate network of wires and buttons. He settled into the pilot's seat, giggling at how easily he could imagine himself soaring through the cosmos. He pretended to steer, pulling levers and pressing buttons, completely engrossed in his imaginary space expedition. Exhausted from his explorations, Billy's eyelids began to feel heavy. The gentle hum of the spaceship and the soft glow of the control panel lulled him into a sense of security. He leaned back in the plush pilot's chair, his toy rocket clutched tightly in his hand. As sleep slowly washed over him, he dreamt of distant planets and friendly aliens, unaware of the adventure that awaited him. Unbeknownst to Billy, the spaceship was scheduled for a routine test run. The technicians, unaware of the young stowaway aboard, initiated the launch sequence. The engines roared to life, shaking Billy's dreams, but not quite stirring him from his slumber. He mumbled something about moon cheese and alien pets, his words lost in the cacophony of the launch. The spaceship shot off into the vast expanse of space, leaving Earth behind in a blaze of fire and light. Billy, oblivious to the change in gravity, continued to sleep soundly, his chest rising and falling with each peaceful breath. He was no longer on familiar ground, but hurtling through the cosmos, an unintentional astronaut on an extraordinary voyage. Billy woke with a start. The soft, rhythmic hum of the spaceship had been replaced by an unfamiliar silence. He sat up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes, and looked around, his heart pounding in his chest. Gone was the familiar sight of the hangar, the smell of engine fuel, and the distant chatter of technicians. Instead, he was surrounded by a blinding white light, sleek metallic walls, and a panoramic view that took his breath away. Stretching before him was a tapestry of stars, a million twinkling lights against an inky black canvas. He gasped, his fingers instinctively reaching out to touch the spectacle before him. But it was the sight of a girl seemingly floating in the middle of the spaceship that truly startled him. She had large, almond-shaped eyes that shimmered like amethysts and skin that glowed with an ethereal light. "Hello," she greeted, her voice as musical as a wind chime. "I am Luna. Welcome to my ship." Billy stared at her, his mouth agape, his mind struggling to process what his eyes were seeing. An alien girl on a spaceship talking to him. It was all too fantastical, straight out of one of his comic books. Are you an alien?" he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. Luna giggled, a melodic sound that echoed through the spaceship. "Technically, yes," she replied, floating closer, "but you can just call me Luna." "And you are?" Billy, still trying to wrap his head around the situation, managed a nervous Billy. Section 4, Alien Hospitality, a Tour of the Cosmos. Luna, sensing Billy's apprehension, smiled reassuringly. "Don't worry, Billy," she said, her voice as soothing as a lullaby. "You're safe with me. You're on board the Stardust, the fastest spaceship well, anywhere, really." She gestured around the spaceship with a flourish. "Come, I'll show you around." Billy, his initial fear giving way to an overwhelming sense of awe, followed Luna as she glided through the spaceship. He marveled at the advanced technology, his fingers itching to touch the strange and wonderful gadgets that lined the walls. Luna explained the function of each device with an enthusiasm that was contagious. She showed him the navigation room, where a holographic map of the galaxy shimmered in the air. Billy watched, mesmerized, as Luna zoomed in on distant planets and swirling nebulas. She pointed out her home planet, Xelax, a world of vibrant colors and towering crystal formations. "It's beautiful," Billy breathed, his eyes shining with wonder. "I wish I could see it for myself." Luna smiled, her eyes twinkling mischievously. "Perhaps you can one day," she said, leaving Billy with a tantalizing sense of possibility. Section 5, Lost in Translation, Gestures and Giggles. Communication with Luna, Billy soon discovered, was more about gestures and expressions than words. While Luna could understand and speak a bit of English, Billy's attempts at Xylaxian resulted in fits of giggles from his alien friend. She found his mispronunciations utterly adorable. They spent hours trying to teach each other their respective languages. Billy learned that Xylaxians communicated through a series of clicks, whistles, and telepathic images. He tried his best to mimic Luna, his tongue twisting in knots as he attempted the alien sounds. Luna, in turn, struggled with Earth customs, like shaking hands and saying please and thank you. Despite the language barrier, they found ways to connect. They played zero-gravity games, Luna effortlessly gliding through the air, while Billy bounced off the walls with hilarious clumsiness. They shared stories about their families and cultures, their laughter echoing through the spaceship, a universal language of friendship. One day, Billy attempted to teach Luna his favorite card game. The instructions, lost in translation, led to a chaotic game that involved more laughter than actual gameplay. They ended up sprawled on the floor, clutching their stomachs, tears streaming down their faces. It was in those moments of shared laughter that their bond deepened, proving that friendship transcended words and planets. Section 6, Celestial Cuisine, a taste of the extraordinary. Mealtime on the Stardust was an adventure for Billy's taste buds. Luna introduced him to Xylaxian cuisine, a colorful and flavorful array of dishes that were a far cry from his usual diet of fish fingers and chips. He sampled glowing fruit juices that tasted like sunshine and ate his weight in space, snacks that popped and fizzed in his mouth. One dish in particular left a lasting impression. It was a steaming bowl of something Luna called stardust soup. It shimmered with an otherworldly glow and smelled faintly of cinnamon and stardust, or so Billy imagined. He cautiously took a sip, his eyes widening in surprise. It was unlike anything he had ever tasted before, a symphony of sweet, savory, and spicy flavors that danced on his tongue. "It's amazing!" he exclaimed, taking another large gulp. Luna beamed at his reaction, explaining that stardust soup was a Xylaxian delicacy made with rare space herbs and a dash of magic. "It's said to grant wishes," she added with a twinkle in her eye. Billy, unsure if he believed her but willing to take his chances, finished his bowl with gusto, hoping for a wish that would allow him to stay on the Stardust forever. Section 7. A glimpse into the future, technological marvels. The Stardust was a treasure trove of technological wonders. Luna, eager to share her world with Billy, showed him devices that seemed straight out of a science fiction film. There were holographic projectors that brought distant planets to life, communication devices that allowed them to talk to beings across galaxies, and even a device that could translate animal languages. One afternoon, Luna led Billy to a room filled with strange contraptions. "This," she announced dramatically, "is the replicator room." She explained that the replicator could materialize anything they desired, from a simple toy to a plate of freshly baked cookies. Billy, his jaw on the floor, stared at the replicator in awe. It looked like a giant oven, except instead of heat, it emitted a soft, pulsating light. He hesitantly requested a model spaceship, and within seconds the replicator hummed to life, producing a perfect replica of the Stardust, complete with miniature blinking lights. Billy spent the rest of the day playing with his new toy, his head spinning with the possibilities that the replicator presented. It was a glimpse into a future where technology could make the impossible possible, and he couldn't wait to tell his friends back on Earth all about it.